So it seems Helldivers decided to step into things a little bit with this account update they had last night around midnight my time. This is according to their Steam page here. Helldivers 2 account linking update. Attention Helldivers. Due to technical issues at the launch of Helldivers 2, we are allowing the linking requirements for Steam accounts to a PlayStation Network account to be temporary optional. That grace period will now expire. See details below this post. Account linking plays a critical role in protecting our players and uploading the values and safety and security provided on PlayStation and PlayStation Studio games. Okay, let me pause right here real quick. For those who don't know, when Helldivers 2 first launched, they originally had the idea that you had to link it to an existing PlayStation Network account. Helldivers 2 is a Sony IP. Arrowhead Studios is making it on their behalf. This was their plan from the get-go. However, due to how many people suddenly jumped on Helldivers 2, it was found immense success in those early opening days, they disabled the need to have that PSN account. They say the plan was always to go back to it. There are conflicting reports on that. Some people show pages saying a PlayStation third-party network account is required. Some can't seem to find it anywhere. Your results may vary. However, I will go ahead and say up front, it is not comforting to anyone who's playing on Steam to be forced to get a PlayStation Network account when the PSN account itself seems to have been the problem for server issues. But I digress. Let's move back on to this right here. Repeat myself just a little bit. Account linking plays a critical role in protecting our players and upholding the values and safety and security provided on PlayStation and PlayStation Studios games. This is our main way to protect players from griefing and abuse by enabling the banning of players that engage in that type of behavior. It also allows those players that have been banned the right to appeal. This is false. There are many games out there that have no connection to PlayStation whatsoever that are able to protect their players, to address griefing and abuse complaints, and to appeal bans. This is simply what they're using as their justification to get you into the PlayStation Network. The idea that this is the only way they can do it, and admittedly they say main way, but they can do this. Many other games, independent of Sony, have ways of dealing with harassment and abuse. So when they feed you this lie, it's meant to go, oh, it's for my own good. Well, then clearly I'm going to say yes to it. It's a lie. And I'll address what they're actually going for, in my opinion, admittedly, in a moment. Back to the article. As such, as of May 6, all new Helldivers 2 players on Steam will be required to connect their Steam account to a PlayStation Network account. Current players on Steam will start to see the mandatory log-on from May 30th and will be required to have a linked Steam and PlayStation Network account by June 4th. PlayStation Network accounts are free and easy to set up using this link. We understand that while this may be a convenience to some of you, this step will help us continue to build a community that you will all be proud of. Many thanks to your continued support of Helldivers 2, Sony Interactive Entertainment. So, the issue here is, one, anytime they force you to sign up to a third party, anything outside the game itself is already kind of like a side-eyed look. But the biggest issue that people seem to be ignoring is that this is coming 2 months, or 3 months even, not early February, 2 or 3 months after the game launched. Well outside the refund window, well after all the reviews have come out. This is, in my opinion, the equivalent of when a company sneaks in a cash shop into a game, or microtransaction in the game, after they've given it to reviewers, after those first 2 or 3 weeks. It's scumbag behavior. It's fucked up, and it shouldn't be allowed, but here we are. People have a myriad of reasons not wanting to sign up with Sony. Some of them ethical, some of them personal, some of them just straight up knows that the PlayStation Network is rife with hacking. They constantly have multiple data breaches, and the last thing you want is your information to be out there somewhere else for some other scam farm to get from you. I'm losing my train of thought here. It's a valid concern to go, no, I don't want a goddamn PlayStation Network account. Furthermore, if you're a PC player, why do you have to have a PlayStation Network account, especially if you don't even have a PlayStation console? I'll tell you why in a second. Well, I'll tell you their reason for it in a second. Furthermore, PlayStation Network is not available in every country across the globe. There are many areas where you just can't get one. I believe a good chunk of Africa, for example, is one. I think Belarus is another. What are those players going to do? Did just make a fake account, but then doesn't that defeat the purpose of having the PlayStation Network to begin with? It's not a good situation around. Additionally, this binds you to Sony's terms of service on a game you're playing on PC. Why do I give one goddamn what Sony's terms of service say when I am not playing on a PlayStation account? There is a line that needs to be drawn about how deep these corporations can dig more and more and more into your personal and private time. Fuck right off with that. Furthermore, Sony is a little draconian and kind of nuts when it comes to enforcing their standards on everyone else. You have to look no further than the Stellar Blade stuff or the various other incidents where Sony has decided to censor bits of games that even the Switch didn't bother to censor. They tend to be very puritanical when it comes to certain things. Additionally, Sony does have multiple patents out there for things that are supposed to read your biometric data. So that way it could tell if your heart rate's coming up, and then they go, oh, you might be being harassed. Well, if you sign up for terms of service, you give them all that information. Now, I will admit, a patent for something does not mean that thing exists. But when you agree to their terms of service, you agree to give them all of that information. It might not be right now, but it will be sooner or later. And they might not even use it for harassment reasons. Once again, the companies like to say, we're doing this for your safety as a shield. As a way to make you go, oh, okay, I get it. In reality, they want the data. Because they can use that data to milk more money out of you. This is how Facebook operates. You want to know why Facebook is free? It's because you're the product. It's because they're gathering as much information from you that they can to sell to someone else. Even beyond the potential culture war problems or the social justice identity stuff or insert your DEI whatever here. More important to Sony than any of that is money. And there is a lot of money in knowing what parts of a game make someone's heart rate race, what parts of the game make you exclaim out in frustration, and there's a lot of money getting your foot in the door to PlayStation Network. Because when you sign up for a PSN account, that's one more barrier down between them getting their PlayStation Marketplace directly to you. It is a way for them to entice as many people as they can into their ecosystem. Because it's just a little step, right? You think, it's just an account that I sign up for. And then you get an email saying, hey, this game's on sale. And then you go, oh, that game's on sale? I've been wanting to play that game. It's a way to get you into their stores. More than anything else. It's not about safety. It's not about harassment. It's not about gathering your biometric data overall. I mean, there's parts of that too in all this for sure. But the main reason why they're doing this is because they want to make money off it. That's the only reason why any company does anything, to be fair. And, I mean, my name online is fucking capitalist pig. I get it. I am fine with that. But that doesn't mean we have to like it. And it sure as hell doesn't mean we have to tolerate it. There has been an immense pushback. If we look at Helldivers Steam DB here, over 100,000 negative reviews have poured in response to this. And this does matter, of course. The lack of PlayStation Network security, the fact that they get hacked all the time, that matters. Giving a company your data just willy-nilly, that matters. These things do matter. But at the end of the day, it also doesn't. And what do I mean by that? Well, it's because myself and anyone watching this, we're probably too close to the forest to see the trees. We're in the weeds on this shit. We know the ins and outs of controversy and how games are run and the way corporations fuck over their consumers and every little thing that they try to bleed us dry with. We are fans. Fan being short for fanatic. We are heavily invested in this stuff. And we also only make up a fraction of the play. The cold hard truth of the matter is, here is their concurrent player base right now. The statement came out around, I believe this time about 12 hours ago or so. Look at their current peak. It hasn't dropped off at all. This has not moved the needle one bit. Because it's not an issue for most. Because the populace has been trained just to kind of go, oh, just an email and a phone number, okay, and then send it off. In this case, the corporations won decades ago. Remember when we used to return things in stores, back when we used to physically go to stores, and they would be like, okay, no problem, can I get your phone number? Why the hell do you need our phone number? Why the hell do you need our email address? But a lot of people, it was just more convenient to go, yeah, sure, here it is, rather than confront someone, because most people tend to be non-confrontational and passive to begin with. Those of people who did raise a little bit of a stink about it weren't seen as heroes, they were seen as nut jobs. It's just an email address, why do you care? It's just a phone number, why do you care? Well, there's damn good reason to actually care, it turns. But, as I said, our outrage, our anger toward Helldivers, doesn't matter. The player base is flat. Now, I understand that some of you are saying, hey, but these changes haven't gone in yet. A lot of people might not be aware of things. And then one day they're going to log on and see this wall of text. They're deliberately, in my opinion, spacing it out over a couple of weeks so that way they don't all get hit with a flood of people saying, fuck this, and tuning out of the game at once. Yeah, they'll have some drop off. It's going to be negligible. I hate to say it, but at the end of the day, most people will comply. You have to look no further than the lockdowns to watch people just overwhelmingly comply. They're going to be told what to do. They're going to be given a pat on the head if they do it, and they're going to go, okay. That's why it doesn't matter. It does, for the reasons I said earlier, and it doesn't in the fact that overwhelmingly the player base of Helldivers 2 is not going to notice a goddamn thing. They're going to keep on going right through. That's my doorbell going off. I'll answer that in a bit. So yeah, I just wanted to make people aware of what's going on here, give you the reasons why it matters, and in the end, why it's not. Helldivers isn't going to die overnight. Now, this certainly is another step toward that, because we are spoiled for choice with games right now. For myself personally, I'm not going to be playing Helldivers 2 anymore. But is it like a big, grand statement that I'm making? No, not really. It's the equivalent of me going up to a restaurant and ordering the sundae, and they go, well, the sundae has nuts on it. And I go, oh, well, then I'll take the vanilla shake instead. It is of that level of magnitude. We are so flush with games at the moment, I can easily swap to something else with no skin off my back at all. This is one of those things that is an easy, shrug your shoulders kind of choice. And that's why I say it doesn't matter as well. Because at the end of the day, it's a game. I can do something else with I can play another game. I can play one of thousands of games out there. Is this going to shift the landscape at all? No. But it is one more crack in the foundation of this stuff. And when you are spoiled for choice, it does become easy to walk away from this. And if you feel that this is a line too far, feel free to walk away from it. Now, there's a whole nother conversation to be had about whether or not you can get refunds and they're taking a game away from you with putting the third party on here. I implore you all to do Steam refunds. They'll probably say no, because a lot of people who would be upset about this likely have dozens and dozens of hours in already. And this is technically something that they have been alerting people to for weeks now in their fine print. Admittedly, yes, it's in the fine print. It's like when you hide something sneaking into Valhalla, but I'm just trying to adjust the reality of the situation here. Just be aware of it when you see another Sony game on Steam. I know when you say vote with your dollar, that is immediately doomed to fail, because people do vote with their dollar, and they tend to vote for this shit more than they vote against it. But it is okay if you don't play Helldivers 2. Play a myriad of any other games that are out there. Play a board game. Go outside. Go outside. Interact with other people. There are many other things that you can do. And yes, it sucks. And I fucking hate it. And I can't stand it. But it's not going to be the end. Thank you all for showing up. This video is a little bit impromptu, kind of just done at the last minute. So if you like what you saw here and you want to support the stream, you know what to do. Likes, bits, follows, subs, shares, etc. Otherwise, come back and check into the Twitch account here at twitch.tv/GamePoints or the YouTube and Rumble and BitChute accounts as well. You know where to find. You've been online long enough. You know where to find all this information if you want to support the stream. Thank you all for showing up. Until next time, I'm out of here.